So they told you that sensuality was all about seduction. It was about being wanted or watched or being desirable. But let me tell you, that is a lie that we've all been sold. Your sensuality has nothing to do with what you do, it has nothing to do with being seen by others. It's about being felt from the inside, feeling that pulse of aliveness, feeling the orgasmic bliss of who you are. And as a result of that, you do become seen in a whole new way. So it's from the inside out. Hello, beautiful. My name is Jessica Angileri. Welcome back to this channel. And today we are exploring how your sensuality is the gateway to your sexual awakening, to the untamed, wild woman within you that I believe every woman, most women anyway, desire to tap into the part of you that remembers this deep sense of love, this connection to the goddess, to life, to this erotic current that is in all of us alive. It's a part of you that is unbound, unapologetic, unshakable, in truth, and fully alive. But here's the thing. We have to redefine sensuality for ourselves as not as a performance, not as this image of what we think sensuality should look like that keeps you in a little box or a little template that just diminishes you. Instead, we need to reclaim sensuality as this embodied, authentic expression that feels real for you in your own expression, your unique blueprint. So sensuality isn't about seeking attention or fitting into someone else's idea or even mold of sensuality. It's not even about sex, really, like we all think it is. It's not about this idea of seduction in a way that is very performative or performing sexuality for attention, always on, always available. Like you're opening your mouth, you're posing in certain ways, you're being so seductive to him. I see this a lot out there, like how to be a seductive woman, how to get his attention. Or even it's about opening your legs or sitting a certain way. No, sensuality is it's also not about anyone else. It's not about being thin. It's not about being conventionally attractive. Only certain body types or ages are allowed to be sensual or desirable, or only the single woman, the woman who she's still connected to that maiden essence, or that your sensuality is about this sensual woman who lacks depth or intelligence. And she's only concerned with the superficial things in life, concerned with appearance all the time. Actually, I believe that a sensual woman does want to focus on how she really nourishes her body and adorns her body and how she looks. Like these things are important to her, but not to gain validation and approval from others. And I believe that we carry these ideas about sensuality, about how to be a woman into our subconscious. And these are all false ideas about sensuality and the feminine. And these myths, I believe, they keep us disconnected from our true feminine spirit, our actual power, our ability to feel fully alive in our bodies, especially when it comes to intimacy and sex. So your sensuality, when you're fully embraced in this way of being, it comes from deeply being connected to your body, to your emotions, to your felt sense, like being really present with everything. And it's not exaggerated. Yeah, it's not performative. It's like you're not trying to take on these different roles or different ways to get to be manipulative. A sensual woman can be soft, wild, playful. She can be a mother, she can be single, she can be young, she can be older. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Your sensuality is just you in your expression, being fully immersed, occupying all of your senses. And you can express this through your energy like a current, a river flowing through your womb, your pussy, your body, your heart. And from this space is how you then interact with the world. It becomes your fragrance. When you connect to this innate essence of you, you're not afraid to be intimate with yourself and therefore intimate with your partner or with your lover. You're not afraid to be intimate with your emotions, like every feeling that is moving through you. You open to a portal to your magnetism. Not because you're trying, not because you're trying to get attention, but because you are aligned with, you know what, this is who I am. You just feel so at home in your body and with who you are. You come back to that place of who you are and your gifts, and you're connected to that pulse of your soul, to the feminine spirit of love, eternal love. And this is exactly what we're diving into today, a conversation that's an activation, a portal into your feminine essence. She is untamed, wild, connected to spirit, feeling everything. And I love speaking about all things related to sensuality. My work really revolves around helping women reclaim their erotic wild selves, their sensuality, embodying their feminine energy, and awakening to this deep pleasure, to this pulse within them, within every woman, because this is so important. And I have felt the importance of this. It's what this journey of sensuality is, which is what I'm devoted to, and sexual awakening. It's really transformed my life, my sex life, my relationship, how I move through the world, how I hold myself, the confidence that I feel, the way I allow myself and give myself full permission to nourish myself and to listen to what my body actually needs, because I never was listening. I was always disconnected, numbed, completely overriding my boundaries. Although I always really felt like I was very sensual. I danced, I moved my hips, played with my body. I love to be wild, but the thing is, I wasn't grounded and I wasn't using my sensuality for higher purposes, really. I did think it was for only sex and even getting a man's attention. And so I was just limiting my own power and my potential there. And that's the thing, sensuality is grounding. It's not meant to make you feel scattered even or disconnected. So when I began exploring my sensuality in a more devotional, intentional way, through pleasure practices, connecting with my cervix and feeling, just even exploring how I was showing up in sex, I discovered how sensuality could actually help release a lot of that guilt of slowing down, or even the judgment around it, the shame around my own expression, the way I am, the way I move. It just taught me how to listen to my body instead of overriding her. And so through that, I also became more, I felt more nourished, or I knew how to nourish my body, especially during my bleeding time. I started to become less emotionally scattered and moody as well, and just learned how to hold my emotions instead of numbing them or letting them sort of take over. So I just became an emotional mess. So my sensual path has allowed me to reclaim the sacred, sensitive, wildly erotic woman that I am. A bit messy. I don't know things sometimes. I'm very intuitive and just like trusting the feeling in my body, the knowing, the wisdom in my body. And it's my absolute mission to help women connect with this aspect of them, their sensual aspect, the essence of who they are. So yeah, your sensuality really matters because as women, we require this. We require moments of nourishment, and that's what sensuality does. It's like nectar for our feminine bodies, and it changes how we move through life, how we relate to our work, our creations, how we enter sex, especially after a long overthinking day where you're constantly, using your mind, but sensuality asks you to go from doing and masculine, constantly masculine doing, thinking, being in your head all day, planning all the things, to feeling excitement. Basically, resensitizing yourself to feel alive with your own presence, with your touch, opening yourself naturally and effortlessly in sex to meeting with what you create with so much more vivid imagination, because sensuality is how you feel turned on. It's how you get, and I don't mean sexually either, just turned on in life. It's how you get yourself turned on. And yeah, you can even say wet if you want to go there. It's how we feel deeper love with ourselves and with our partner. And you just don't want to hold back from that kind of love. You learn to be in this art of receiving as much as giving, because sensuality can only be felt when you receive yourself, when you slow down, when you get relaxed in your body. It doesn't just awaken your pleasure, which it does, but it also soothes your entire nervous system. The part of you that wants to calm down, the part of you that wants to feel safe to receive, the part of you that wants to surrender to the unknown. So when you engage with your body through pleasure practices, which is what I love offering women, through touch, sensation, getting present, it signals to your body, to your nervous system, okay, you are safe now. You're home. This is what it feels like. You're not in any form of danger to experience this kind of way, this kind of natural way of being. Yes, you are allowed to relax. And I feel it's something that we women really need to practice and have space to be in this kind of, way of being, really. This shifts you from being in that constant, you've probably heard, fight or flight, tension, contraction, closing off, protecting yourself, into more rest, into receptivity, into easily digesting things, digesting your food as well, digesting certain things in your mind. So it allows your body to remember how to feel safe again and again. And when you feel safe, pleasure just flows more easily, creativity sparks, and intimacy becomes more deepened. Sensuality becomes a practice of coming back to your body, honoring yourself, and creating space for you where you get to be fully seen in all that you're feeling. That's how you become fully alive. It's not indulgence, it's medicine for your own heart, your soul, like your feminine spirit, for your mind. Imagine coming home after a stressful day or after being on calls with clients as well, and walking into a sexual experience, or even in just a moment to be with yourself, and you just feel softened. You're here in the moment, you're opened, you're sensitized, you're allowing yourself to feel the warmth of your own touch or your lover's touch. Just being in this subtle energy of connection, simply because you've cultivated a deep, intimate relationship with your own body. So then being intimate with your lover then just becomes easier. So sensuality, yeah, it allows you to just experience more joy in what you're doing. Your art gets to be more pleasurable. Your yoga gets to be more pleasurable. You just feel more alive through simple mundane moments as well. The way sunlight feels on your skin, you feel that warmth beaming down on you. Even your words slow down. You integrate things. You stop worrying about trying to focus on healing fast, even. You allow yourself to taste your morning coffee. You get excited to feel the soft sheets against your thighs, and sex doesn't become another thing that you tick off the list. You want it. And this is what women often tell me is like, they're like, Jessica, I just really want to feel more pleasure in my everyday life. I don't want it to be this big, complicated thing anymore. That overwhelms me. And that's the power of sensuality, where you realize actually it fills you from the inside and it's meant to be simple. It is the source of your magnetism, your sexual energy, which we all need to feel confident and beautiful and grounded and turned on in what we do, to feel like we enjoy what we're doing. It's what creates that feeling of deep nourishment. When you've cultivated that sense of fullness from within, there's no need then to go fast, to want to heal fast, to grow your business fast, to work things out fast. You stop grasping onto things that are not working out. You stop chasing external highs. You know, that the party, the constant vacations, the fleeting attention from men, they just become bonuses, really. They're not necessities. You just feel that contentment from within. So the truth is, most women are wired to look for that hit of pleasure outside of themselves. And you'll know that if you watched my episodes a couple back, I spoke about this. And we find ourselves maybe chasing these highs, whether it's through endless dates or casual sex, being on Tinder, swiping. Maybe it's through work, like being a workaholic. I'm not opposed to that or any of that, you know. Yeah, I work hard as well. But we're just like, that's where we just want to be all the time, constantly planning, controlling the dates. Maybe, as I've spoken about already, it's in the vibrator, which only keeps you focused on clitoris stimulation and not opening you to whole body orgasms. We're just conditioned to seek fast excitement, especially excitement outside of us, leaving us in this chronic state of grasping, craving, depletion. I'm not talking about yearnings from your heart, desires from your heart. I'm talking about, things that are keeping you in that cycle, keeping you in that masculine overdrive, focused on achieving, doing, controlling, rushing through life. And then when you're in that state, you find that your body is really tense, maybe in your shoulders, your lower back, your belly, you're holding your belly in, your heart is guarded. You might even start to see pleasure as selfish or being sensual as like unnecessary, because the world has taught us to think of everyone else and to look outside of us. Maybe you're stuck in the heaviness of healing work, feeling like that you have to keep digging into the darkness constantly to find wholeness. Either way, the results are the same. It just leaves you feeling confused and depleted and disconnected. And then that disconnection from the body creates a disconnection from your sensuality and how you're relating with the world, with life itself. But sensuality shifts that. Sensuality brings you home, as I mentioned. It brings lightness to the heaviness. It brings softness to the tension. It brings joy to the numbness, not to override any of it at all. But we can use sensuality as this portal to meet with more love for you, to meet with the part of you that can withstand all the storms and different emotions, because your sensuality grounds you in your body, into your body. It lets you feel more turned on by the present moment instead of disconnecting, numbing yourself. And it shows you that pleasure isn't something that you need to go out and find. It lives right here in the body, right now, right here. Teaches you that your pleasure is your medicine. And if you're not tapping into that, you're missing out on so much. Because what happens is the more you're tapped in, the more life itself and what you're doing just becomes a love affair. So your essential energy just touches everything that you do, everything you're saying, your creativity, your relationships, your sex life. And when you start working with this essence of you, yes, your aura softens, your energy shifts, your beauty becomes more vibrant. You can't ignore it. That is how you become seductive from that space, not trying to be something else that you're not, but it's just, how to connect with that life force within you that's pulsating through you. You've experienced it. You've experienced the taste of you, and you've gone to the depths of you. All of it gets to be really delicious, where you're feeling and sensing and just becoming aware of you and who you are, not trying to feel sensual, not trying to be sexual, not trying to feel more bliss. It's just you being present with you. And through that, the goddess in you will then want to offer you the stage, the stage of bliss naturally. So this isn't about sexuality, as you can see, although sensuality will be your portal, but it's about how you experience the world, your world, the outside world, the spiritual world. And we can do that through all of our senses. Your sensory world is the gateway to your pleasure. And then that, yes, is how you then have greater sex. Because it's your fuel for you. And that's what I want for you, to feel radiant and nourished and magnetically alive every single day, even when you're not feeling great, if that makes sense, right? So how do you get there? How do we start this journey of sensuality? I'm going to share with you 3 ways. The first way, presence and felt sense, or feeling your body, as I've already mentioned. Start coming back to your body by tuning into your felt sense, noticing sensations, the subtle ways that you connect with your body, the way your body moves, even the way your hands explore your skin and caress your skin. Something as simple as noticing your breath, directing your breath into your body. Just being with yourself in really loving ways. Not for anyone else, but for you. And that's the first step in reclaiming your own pleasure, your own aliveness. And if you've signed up for my free program, Erotic Feminine Embodiment, you will notice that whatever practice builds on each, right? And the first practice takes you right there into the felt sense of your body. And it's such a simple practice, but honestly, it works. It really teaches you how to gather your energy inward instead of constantly leaking it out. We need these simple reminders of how to be with the body. It's so essential for us women, especially if you've been living in the masculine overdrive for years. The more that you live in logic and hustle and control, it's not all bad, but the more you're there, the more you're disconnected, right? From that softness, the creativity, the pleasure that you get to feel. But when you slow down and you touch your body, you explore your body with love and you're breathing and you're being with yourself in such an intuitive way, your body starts to trust you again. Tension softens, desire awakens naturally. You can't ignore it. Now, the third way to connect with your sensuality is through curiosity, playing with pleasure. Sensuality requires curiosity, exploring your body in a curious way, exploring, what do I want actually? What are my desires? Exploring with curiosity your emotional landscape with no judgment. That's a big one. And so it might mean that you touch yourself, as I mentioned, in loving, gentle, sovereign ways, getting curious with your yoni, exploring, getting curious with her by being present with her, touching her, and just allowing yourself to feel your own pleasure and honoring that aliveness that lives inside of you. So touching yourself in a way that feels good, and doing it in soft, slow, teasing ways, noticing what excites you, what relaxes you, what you don't like, what makes you feel more tense, what gives you tingles. So it's not about performance. It's about discovering what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel awake and turned on in your heart, in your body, in your spirit self. So when you allow yourself to explore, get curious with yourself in this way, then you realize, okay, pleasure is guiding me now. It shows you what you need, what you want, shows you how to connect with yourself, and it all gets to be so juicy and fun at the same time. And the third way to connect with your sensuality is through devotion and ritual. Sensuality is about devotion. It's not just, oh, okay, I'm just going to do a really beautiful sensual practice and that's it. It doesn't work like that. The feminine requires devotion by you, a daily act of honoring yourself. That's how we use the masculine to show up for us. So it's about showing up for yourself the way that you show up for others as well. Things that you love, your pleasure, your body, your aliveness really deserves that attention by you every single day. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really simple. As I said, I'll say it again, because these are the tools that I use. Touching, moving, deep breathing, even a cup of tea that you can savor slowly, or your coffee, just anything that creates a space for you to be with yourself. Thinking about your space, what makes me feel at peace, at home, makes me feel creative. What are the things that I love to be surrounded by? And these are small acts of how sensuality grows, how energy starts to radiate, how you start to listen more, how life starts to feel more luscious and luxurious. And once you do this, your body and your desires and your pleasure, they all start to remember themselves. But you have to show up for yourself. Believe me, your life will love you right back if you do. And then even the ordinary becomes delicious. the ordinary of like, you don't bypass those small things of like watching a bee on a flower or smelling a flower or making a delicious meal, have the water that you feel on your skin when you're having a shower, and even your stretches that you do, all of it gets to feel pleasurable. Even your yoga practice becomes more enjoyable. I remember one of my clients, Ines, said that even her yoga has now become more enjoyable, after the work that she did inside my group program, Feminine Remembrance. You just become a woman who walks into a room and people will feel you, not because of what you're wearing or how you move, although that really does shift. But really, it's because your energy radiates from the inside out. And so, yeah, even your work, your creativity, your everyday interactions, they start to carry this natural sensuality. So it's really this magnetic, sensual presence. It doesn't just make you glow, which it will, but it would just draw you deeper into yourself. And then that's how your sex life transforms, and your sex stops being this mental checklist that you have to do. It just gets to be a fully embodied, sensory, curious experience of you and your partner, where, yeah, it's exploring, awakening to who you really are, dancing, moving from your body, your energy, and the moment. When you live from this sensual space, you won't want to perform anymore. You won't want to fit into other people's boxes anymore, or hold back your voice anymore, or create something and then hold back because you worry what other people will think of you. You simply allow yourself to be and be expressed. Your sensuality allows you to become available to beauty and life and pleasures of life. And that is what makes both sex and life so fulfilling. So if you've been yearning to reconnect with this part of yourself, if you feel like, yeah, there's a part of me missing in this, especially when it comes to, I've been on this healing journey for a while and spiritual journey for a while, and maybe you're just tired of being in that doing constant, and you're so ready to soften into this and connect with and awaken to this wild, tender, sensual woman you are without apologizing, then I invite you into my work. Come to Feminine Remembrance, my group program, where you will unleash your inner sex goddess. Book a clarity call with me. We can talk about how deep feminine activation, my private mentorship, is going to get you there to being that sensual, alive, erotic woman. Whatever you choose, this is such a sensual, sacred container where you journey back to your feminine essence, the erotic pulse between your legs, where everything gets to be so juicy, where you learn how to slow down and feel deeply, reclaim that pleasure that's always lived within you, because that is actually where you get to just step in more into your power as a woman. Remember, sensuality isn't something you need to go and find. It's right here waiting for you to remember. And that is what I'm here to be of service to, my love. So if you're ready to come home to your body and your pleasure and your feminine magic, check out all of my links and offerings below. Reach out to me on Instagram. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments what resonated with you. Give me a hell yes. I'm so ready to reclaim my sensuality. Not tomorrow, not when I've done this and that. No, right now. It's your responsibility to reclaim this part of you. And I'm here to support you in that. To make your life a daily love affair. Thank you, beautiful. I'll see you again in the next episode. Make sure to check out all of my other juicy episodes where, I do love to dive into this, into these talks and wisdom and transmissions around all things are feminine. So I'll see you again soon. Thank you, beautiful. I'm so deeply grateful for you. My name is Jessica Angileri. Bye.